Sonny is the best striker in a partnership in Premier League history. Kane and Son have got the record as the best attacking duo, and he achieved that in a Spurs shirt. You know, I think the most telling thing is after the game, when he got substituted, it's not the reaction he got from his players. Look at the reaction from the opposition.
Mm-hmm.
The Newcastle players hugging him, patting him on the back. They acknowledge that he's a legend. You don't do that for any player. The opposition, the coaches, the subs of the other team, the players, they all treated him exactly how the Spurs players treated him when he went off, and that's when you know you're something special. And he deserved a lot more in terms of trophies for the caliber of player he was at Spurs. But he's gone at the right time. I think he should have gone a couple of years ago because he began to decline. But I'm glad he stayed now because he left as a trophy winner in a Spurs shirt and captain of the Europa Cup winning team. So I'm glad he did stay. But it's the right time. He's doing the right thing. The club's doing the right thing, and he's leaving in good spirits. And you know, just like Sir Alex Ferguson, when he left Man United, he left them winning a league title, and that's the memory of Sir Alex. The memory we will have of Sonny is you were the captain when we won the Europa Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
and
good.
You still, like, the term legend as well, it get banded about so easily in football these days, doesn't it? Like, this one's a legend, that one's a legend. But he truly epitomised in every aspect of his being, from the way he conducted himself to loyalty to winning that trophy, to the amount of goals and assists, the combinations that he had on the pitch. When he dug us out in the hard times as well, when Harry Kane was injured, you know, he is the true definition of a legend, isn't he?
Yeah, and he stepped up in big games. He scored the first goal when we beat Arsenal 2-0 in the Carabao Cup to knock them out at the Emirates. He scored the 2 goals when we got that brilliant draw at the Emirates in Ange's first season. He scored that wonder goal against Arsenal during COVID at White Hart Lane. You know, he was a big game player. He scored goals against Chelsea as well, United. So he's a legend for what you said. He's a legend for turning up in big games. And he's also a legend because of the absolute respect that he showed. And I think that comes from his culture. But he's probably one of the most respectful football players the Premier League has ever seen.
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Nobody else that can quite do it like Sonny.
There was this clip, I think it was the year before last, where he was interviewed by Rio Ferdinand after a match. And when he put the mic down, the way he put the mic down was in a way to make sure that it's not thrown or dropped or broken. It's like, you know, respect the equipment. It's little things like that. You think you're such an honourable, respectful human being. And it all goes to building the character that people fall in love with and the character that people say, you know what, you're a legend, man. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
do you think, Stel, that, you know, obviously he's got some playing time left in him, in his boots, over in the States, wherever he goes? Do you think you can see him coming back as a ambassador to the club later on in life, Sonny? Do you welcome him back?
Yeah, as an ambassador, absolutely. 100%. Why can't he be like Ledley King?
Yeah.
Do that for Tottenham.
100%.
He's got to want to do it, of course, as well.
That's another question.
Listen, if I was a professional football player and I was Son, then I had another few more years in my boots to go and play elsewhere. Once I retire, I just want to go live in Barbados for a couple of years and just do nothing and just relax and enjoy life, you know. But
mate, if he decided to do that tomorrow, I'd be happy for Sonny to do that. I think he can choose what his path is now, where he goes in life, you know.
Yeah,
do whatever you want.
He's made his money. He's worked hard. He's been successful. He's won a trophy. He's won a trophy for his country as well. Let's not forget.
Yep.
He won the Asia Cup. So yeah, Son's in a good place, man. And like I said, I'm glad he's leaving in good spirits. He's not leaving like some of our other top players like Carrick, Modric, Kane, Berbatov. You know, so many quality players have left us in shitty circumstances, but he's actually leaving in a really good way, and I like that. So I'm happy for him.
Yeah, so that is a really lovely tribute for the man, the legend that is Son Heung-min. So that's the good. Let's talk about the bad with James Maddison, because he goes down, reoccurring injury to his knee that we saw at the back end of last season in that Europa League run. I mean, it's devastating, isn't it?
Guys, I'm going to get straight to it. We need to sell him. He needs to be sold.
You can't sell him now. No one's going to buy him now.
But once he's fit, the guy's going to be 29, and he's just so injury prone, and it's becoming like Sessegnon. Honestly, I feel for him because he's a talented football player, and he's our best number 10, and I think we're better with Maddison than without him. But you can't have a player like this at the club and ever build anything, you know. When we signed him from Leicester, the Leicester fans called him a third.
Yeah.
He's a third, you know the story, a third good, a third injured.
Yeah.
Okay. It's the same at Spurs. It's the exact same thing. And, you know, just when you think, you're going to get a Maddison that's going to be pivotal to the direction of our football team, and he's going to be a really big influence. You know, we're a couple of weeks away now from the Super Cup final. He's out. He's going to be out for what? 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 months? God knows. And it's going to be the history of Maddison at Spurs. This is his history at Spurs. He's always injured. And if we put emotion to one side and we look at it as what is in the best interest of Tottenham Hotspur football team, we've got to sell him. We have to sell him. Once he's fit and ready, I mean, he'll stay for this season, but in the summer, I'd put him up for sale, guys. I don't want to. I'm not saying it because I don't like him. I think Maddison's one of our top 3 players. I think he's a character as well that you need at the club, and he's a talented football player. But if you're always injured, if you're not available, what's the point? If you're not really available to play, what is the point of being at the club? And guys, my honest opinion is get him fit, finish the season, and sell him.
Yeah. I know it sounds a bit harsh what you're saying, Stelios, but I understand where it's coming from. At the same time, if you're looking at what's best for Tottenham Hotspur, at the end of the day, we need someone in that 10 who's going to be reliable and going to be there week in, week out. But it does hurt me to hear you say that, to put him up for sale, because he has been so pivotal in the way we play and so important in that Europa League run. He was very important. And
I think Stelios is right. I think he's right, to be honest. I think we do need to look to sell James Maddison. You can't keep a player at the club that's as injury prone as him and as important as he is as well. I really believe it. I think he's right, to be honest.
I get where both of you are coming from.
Amir,
I just think it's harsh, though. It's harsh.
Amir, think of when we were really, really good in the Premier League. It was under Harry Redknapp, and it was under Pochettino. Redknapp had Modric, Pochettino had Eriksen in the 10.
Yep.
How often did they miss a game? You could count on one hand how many games they missed.
It was rare, yeah.
And that's what was key to those teams being so good. You had that maestro, you had that locksmith that was always available that could dictate the attacking play. We haven't had that at Spurs for quite a few years now. If it's not Maddison, it's Kulu, then we try Bergvall, then we try playing with a false 9, and we can't get that stability of consistently good football and good play without that 10. You saw last season when Arsenal lost Odegaard, the problems they had at the start of the season.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not saying it because I'm trying to sound harsh. I'm saying it because I'm thinking, how do we go forward as a team? We need a 10 that can turn up at least 8 out of 10 times in the season.
Who's that 10 for you then, Stel? If I had said to you, here's 70, 80 million on the table, can go get him, who's your guy?
Well, look, players like Nico Williams and Eze would be amazing. Are we going to get them? Probably not.
Williams has signed, hasn't he, at Bilbao?
Yeah. So we're probably not going to get them. But those two would be fantastic. Jack Grealish is a player I'd look at, but are we going to match his wages? I don't know. One player that I do like, that can play in that role, and he's a player we can get because it's from a smaller club, is Kluivert from Bournemouth.
Is he not more of a striker though, Kluivert?
Kluivert's more of a 10, I think.
Yeah.
He plays in the 10, yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what's realistic.
With Jack
get a player
Grealish,
from Bournemouth? Could we get a player that's at a smaller club and say to him, "Come to Tottenham. You're going to play Champions League football. You're coming to a bigger football club. We can pay more wages than what you're at Bournemouth, and you'll be our main man in that 10." Why would Kluivert not come to Spurs if we match the transfer fee requested?
with Jack Grealish, Stelios, Man City obviously want to get him out the door. So would you be accepting of a Jack Grealish loan move if Man City was to subsidise some wages, get him in for a year just on loan?
100%. We've done it with Paulinho. You know, I think, look, if we're going to stick with Frank for the next 3-4 years, and I say that with caution because normally after 18 months to 2 years, the whole fan base has turned. Get him out, right? That's the normal. That's the normal direction we go in. But if he is going to be here for longer, then there's no issue from me this year bringing in a couple of players on a loan who we know can do the job, who are going to be good, whilst we figure out long term the targets and getting those targets in. Really, we should have done that already and had them in for this season. But it's clear that's not going to be the case. So if we can get, that brilliant word we love at Tottenham, a stopgap.
Don't start with that, Stelios. Do not start with long gap.
You're giving me visions of Clement Longley.
Bloody hell. I saw him playing the other day in the... Oh, my God. Long gap.
Longley, Danjuma, Werner, stopgaps. Long gaps, mid gaps.
Oh, my days. Please, no. Please.
Oh, my God. But if it's a 1 year kind of... Let's call it a placement filler. Right, if you can get a placement filler in for a year that is proven with Premier League pedigree, with experience, which is what Paulinho is, and Jack Grealish will be that. If you can get him in for 1 year, whilst we figure out, right, that's the 10 we're going to go for, that's the number 6 we're going to go for, I'm all for it, guys, because it's better than what we've got now.
Yeah.
The question is, what Jack Grealish do we get? Do we get the Jack of Villa? Or do we get the kind of, I've done it all now, I've won the treble, City Jack? Which Jack comes to Spurs?
I think Man City's a very, very pressurised football club to play for. The demands are extremely high. The expectations are high. And you've got a manager that demands you to play his way, no other way, or there's no way. Bye-bye. I don't think Frank's that kind of manager. I think with Frank there is some freedom, and I think with Frank he would be excited to work with a Jack Grealish because he knows what that could bring to the team. So I think we'd get the old Jack Grealish, maybe not on day one, but I think over time you'd see the old Jack Grealish. The only concern I've got with Jack, it's the only little concern I've got, is he does also get injuries.
He does
also pick up a couple of niggles here and there, so that would be the only concern. But I'd be all for it if we got him. 100%.
Me too. No, me too. If we could get Jack Grealish, bring him in. You know what? He's the only one apart from Eze that I would say I'll be excited about. If we got Jack Grealish now, I'll be excited for him to come into that position.
But still, 5 games now in pre-season, 2 against serious opposition in Arsenal and Newcastle. How are you looking now towards the season? PSG just over a week away in the Super Cup. Are we ready?
Look, I'll repeat what I said when I came on off the Arsenal game. I'm not getting excited about this season, but I'm not getting angry about it. I'm just going to let it play out and see where we go with it because... And, I got a bit of flack last week because everyone said, you're being negative after we beat Arsenal. I wasn't being negative. I was just saying it's one game. Let's see how we go. Because you can see today how the mood has changed from that Arsenal game very quickly. And this is what I was trying to say last week. We can't get caught up in the drama. We've done this before. As soon as the manager comes, look at Ange Ball. Look at the passing football. You see what happens when you get a manager that can coach. And look what happened a year later. And when Conte came, top 4, we're back. And then it collapsed. I just want to, for the first time in a long time, I'm just going to bite my lip and just let it play out. I'll tell you what I thought of today's game, and then I'll tell you what I think of where we're at. I thought today's game was similar to the Arsenal game, where we look really solid at the back. Okay, once or twice there's a bit of lapse of concentration from one or two players, but we look more solid from set pieces, and we look more, what's the word? Not composed.
Structured.
Organised. Yeah, structured, organised at the back. In midfield, I think we're more compact. There's not big gaps open everywhere, and we squeeze the game and win the ball back to transition into attacks quite well. The attacking third's awful. Our attacking lineup at this club right now is so average. It is the concern, and I think that's down to a mixture of not having a 10. I think it's down to not having a proper striker. Again, Richarlison today gets put through by Odegaard, misses the target. Okay, he was offside, but mate, you got put through, at least finish. In the wide areas, I don't think we've got too much. Kudus looks like he's going to do well. Odegaard looks like he's got a lot of potential. But Matthias Tell, guys, I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry to say it. He's Werner 2.0. £35 million down the drain for this guy, and I said it last year with Werner, and everyone's like, "Oh, you've gone too soon." I'm saying it again with Matthias Tell. I think we've wasted £35 million on this guy. I'm praising Kudus. I'm praising Odegaard. I can see potential there. I really can. But with Matthias Tell, I think we've made an absolute mess of it. And with
Do you not think he's just playing out of position though? Like, he's not a number 9.
Ben, I've not been impressed with him when he's wide either. I just think for that kind of money, we could have done a hell of a lot better. I don't rate him, guys. I don't. It's just my opinion. Well, I mean, the season will prove whether or not he's worth the money or not. But I just don't see it. With Odegaard, I see it. I see where we can go with him. I see even that little through ball where he dinked it between two players to feed Richarlison.
Yeah.
It's things like that. You say, you know what, we could get something here from this player if we could just work with him. I don't really see that with Matthias Tell. Kudus, I see him beat a man, and okay, the end product will come eventually. And the movement off the ball from the other attackers has got to support him more, but you can see what Kudus can bring to the table. I just don't see it with Matthias Tell. I don't see what he brings to this club.
Well, a lot of work to do from now until the end of the transfer window. You know, in my opinion, you need a left winger there. You need a striker in replacement for Richie. You need a number 10, and probably need a left back as well.
By the way, talking about wing backs, Jed Spence is just getting better and better and better. You know?
Agreed.
That boy's defending, his power as well to muscle players off the ball. For me, Jed Spence has got to start for Tottenham Hotspur. He's really, really developing.
Instead of who?
Udogie maybe. Injured.
Ideally, you want Spence on the right, but Porro's doing well as well. So I'll probably start him on the left, guys. I think. I don't know how we start a season without Spence. He's proving to be the most consistent defender we've got at the moment for me. I really, really am impressed with what he's doing, and he's a shining light in that defence as it stands. Plus, he's got pace, so if we need to recover, he's got it in his skill set to get back and recover and support the team. So that's a player for me that I'm really, really enjoying watching at the moment. And you know, look, like I said, to answer your question, Ben, 5 games in, I think we're going to be harder to beat than what we were last season. I think we're going to be more robust and defensively more sound. So in terms of beating Tottenham, I think teams are going to have their work cut out for them. In terms of us beating teams, I don't know where we're at yet, because from what I've seen so far, that final third is very, very average. And I think that's going to come down to a mixture of, can we get some more quality players in, but also Frank needs to earn his money and develop these players, because
absolutely
he developed Mbuemo, he developed Wissa, players that no one had heard of. Well, you need to develop Odegaard, Frank, and you need to develop players like Yang, who came on for a bit. So it can't just be we've got to go and buy lots and lots of good players. The manager, as we criticised Conte and we criticised Ange and others for not developing players, Frank needs to develop some of the existing players at the club as well. So if Frank can develop and we can bring in another talented forward type player, I don't see why we can't have a good season next season. You know, why not?
Stel, you didn't mention Tell there in those players that Frank can improve. Is he beyond, like, getting
Beyond
there?
development.
Beyond development for you?
Never say never, right? Never say never. I said Ange would never win the Europa, and I got that one wrong. So
there you go. Go.
Never say never. Yes, he can develop Tell, but do I think Tell has shown enough that he could be developed into that player? No. Whereas with Odebert,
you can see it.
When I watch Bergvall, when I watch Archie Gray, when I watch Odebert, I look at those and I say, do you know what? If a manager could just work with them and just get them to focus on A and B, there's potential to develop a really good player here. But when I look at Tell, guys, I don't see it. Like, you tell me, what do you see in Tell that gives you hope? What do you see in Tell that makes you know what? There's a player there. What is it you see? Because I can't see it.
See, I see his ability to take on his man. Yep. I see sheer work rate. I see a young player trying his utmost, and I think there is something to work there with Tell, and I see really good crossing ability as well. Look at that cross in the last game against Arsenal, on the money for Mickey van de Ven, who really should have put it in the back of the net. So he hasn't blown me away as a Spurs player. I'm not sitting here and saying he's been incredible, but I just feel like there are a few green shoots there that you could potentially work with.
And for me, still, like I actually like the look of him before we even signed him. When he was coming off the bench for Bayern a little bit, I thought he was looking quite exciting. But that was in a Bayern team that was creating chances for fun, you know, like every few minutes, another chance. So of course he looked good there. For me, I get both of your positions, because on one hand, Stel, I get where you're coming from. You know, the finish today.
Amir loves to sit on the fence, doesn't he? Amir's such a
I am sitting on the fence. No, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is as well? It's because he's young still as well. You know, when someone's 19, 20 years of age, that kind of age, for me, you're still developing, not just as a player, you're not learning your trade, but also as a person, as a human being. And for me, last season, when he kind of made that passionate, you know, approach towards the fans when things weren't going so well, I like that about him. So for me, my heart's telling me, give him a season, let him try, let's see how he can get on, let's find his right position. But then on the other side, I'm saying, well, maybe, you know, I'm kind of agreeing with Stel. 35 million is quite
He's 20 years of age, people.
Yeah, but
he's
that's
very young.
Yeah, that's
very
the thing.
Young.
20 years old, man.
He's not Timo coming here in his late 20s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he's the French Timo. But at the end of the season, we will be able to analyse better, and then we can say, right, guys, where we're at with Tell. There's one more thing I want to say before you bring on the next person, because I know you've got more people to go through, and that is, right, I've always defended Romero. Okay, I've always defended him when everyone else shat on him, and today I have to say, right, Gramarez grabs him by the neck.
Yeah, he does.
Like, grabs him by the neck, and Romero's like, push him off, like, what are you doing? And Gramarez comes again. If Romero had grabbed one of their players by the neck, all hell would have broken loose. Romero's
100%.
a thug. Romero's out of control. He's a liability. Guys, come on, people. Are we going to... Romero did so well in that situation not to punch Gramarez in the face. You know that?
He did.
I want to put some respect, because it was a moment that came and went, and it's not really a talking point, but I'm making it a talking point. Romero did so well to keep his temper there, and to not react, because if Romero had done that, you'd see all the other YouTubers from other clubs today saying, "Oh look, Romero, he's out of control again," you know. So respect to Romero today for not losing his rag, and he had every right to lose it as well today.
You know what? There is such a narrative about Cuti Romero, which I think is so misplaced, right? And I think you need to be taking a closer look. These Newcastle players are borderline thugs every single week in, week out. They are way more over the top. They are way more over the top than a Cuti Romero is, and what you see week in, week out. And no one talks about it.
Joe Linton, dirty.
But look, still, go on.
That's it. I just wanted to get that little defensive praise for Romero, but I'll leave
Back
it on
your
this,
captain. You know? Back our captain, Stelios. Come on.
Copa America winner twice. World Cup winner.
Yes. Yes.
Europa Cup winner, man of the match in the
Yes.
Europa Cup.
Yes.
And we've got fans out there that want to criticise him. Like this guy, he's a good
Mate,
defender.
he's
a good
Rolls
He needs
Royce.
to sign on the dotted
He's
line. He
Rolls
needs
Royce.
to sign on the dotted line.
I hope he does. I like. Listen, I've always loved Romero, and do you know what? I like it when he gets a little bit rough. I like
too.
a football player to have that in him. So, I'll leave it on that because that's a good note. I'll leave it on
There
that.
we
Big
go.
up, Stel.
There
Thanks
we
for
go.
coming on
Take
today,
care,
mate.
Stel. Good to hear
We'll
from
see
you,
you
buddy.
soon.
Big up, guys. Enjoy your paddling.
Cheers, mate.
See you on the court soon, mate. See you on the court soon. Amazing.